ANC in serious financial trouble. ANC in serious financial trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones. Waina TV, please subscribe. The African National Congress ANC is once again under scrutiny for its controversial multi-million rand debt settlement with Ezulwini Investments, a debt that the ANC is struggling to repay. The case stems from Ezulwini Investments' application for the ANC to pay 102.5 million plus interest and costs for supplying and installing campaign banners during the 2019 election. The ANC denied that any contract existed, arguing that the alleged signatories lacked the necessary authority and that the factual disputes remained unresolved. In late 2023, the Supreme Court of Appeal rejected these claims, finding no bona fide factual disputes and confirming that one official had authority to conclude election-related contracts. A month later, on 21 December 2023, the ANC and Ezulwini signed a settlement agreement. In it, the ANC placed an order valued at 190 million to write off the historic debt. This was effectively a contract for 2024 election materials, including 15,000 banners and 1 million Corex boards, earmarked for what the ANC calls strategic partners and strategic alliances. Action SA, a key litigant in unmasking these agreements, accuses the ANC of breaching the provisions of the Party Funding Act by disguising a donation as a commercial transaction. The party's national chairperson, Michael Beamont, said that the ANC's 102.5 million and 150 million in 2025, with interest and inflation, debt to Ezulwini from 2019 was effectively written off through an inflated order. He said that independent suppliers estimated the cost of the order at 125 million. This means the ANC settled a 150 million debt with only 65 million in actual value. In terms of the law, that is a donation in kind of about 85 million, well above the 15 million annual limit for any single donor. The debt arrangement was concluded before changes to the Political Party Funding Act, which raised the disclosure threshold to 200,000 and doubled the annual donation cap from 15 million to 30 million per donor. Parties call for an investigation. Action SA contends that the agreement effectively constituted an unlawful political donation and has urged the IEC to reopen its investigation. These calls have been echoed by ANC GNU coalition partner, the Democratic Alliance DA. The DA's Willie Okempa said that the party is particularly concerned about 15,000 banners and 1 million Corex boards earmarked for what the ANC calls strategic partners and strategic alliances. These documents raise serious questions about which political parties are benefiting from ANC funding, said Okemp. South Africans have the right to know if these parties are effectively acting as ANC proxies during and after elections. He said that the DA will submit a PAIA request to the ANC to identify all parties that received support under the Ezulwini contract and urge the IEC to investigate. The DA called for clarity on whether providing materials to strategic partners constitutes undeclared funding and stressed that all in-kind donations should be transparent to voters. The IEC has long stated that its powers to investigate are hamstrung by legislation, which stipulates that prima facie evidence must be presented for an investigation to occur. Beaumont told Newsday that the lack of agency of the IEC speaks to both the lack of will of the IEC and the lack of teeth afforded to them by the legislation. The IEC could not have done less to look into this matter and seems to require a complainant to make a case of breach of the Act, despite it being the only body with the powers to investigate and demand submission from parties. He said that now that the party has given them the debt settlement agreement they never bothered to ask for, they will have no choice but to act because the agreement is patently and objectively unlawful. The IEC told Newsday that the matter is currently the subject of a court case brought by Action SA against the Electoral Commission. The IEC is not at liberty to engage on the subject as the matter is sub judice. Ezulwini gunning down for the ANC. Ezulwini is still owed tens of millions from the ANC, with at least 3 bank accounts attached and payments stopped to settle an 85 million debt. The ANC also faces an insolvency application. Report first revealed that the ANC's bank accounts were frozen and goods worth 140,000 were seized from its Luthuli House headquarters last week. This is far short of the party's debt to Ezulwini Investments. The Daily Maverick reported that the sheriff of the court has also attached at least 3 bank accounts, though their combined balance is unlikely to cover the 85 million owed after years of legal railing. If the debt remains unpaid, Ezulwini's lawyer Shafiq Sali told the Daily Maverick he may proceed with an unprecedented insolvency application, while also exploring the attachment of provincial office assets and accounts. The ANC plans to raise Novation as a defense, arguing that a settlement agreement requires restarting recovery proceedings. The ANC previously lost a debt attachment case in the Supreme Court of Appeal, and the Constitutional Court dismissed an application for lack of compelling grounds. Third parties have approached Ezulweni to buy the debt, creating political risk if adversaries acquire it. Despite this, Ezulweni owner Rinesh Ramdas continued working for the ANC, citing patriotism. In response, the ANC said it will not be distracted by attempts to sensationalize this matter and by leaking confidential information to the media. We remain committed to transparency and accountability and will act firmly within the bounds of the law to protect the integrity of the movement. ANC's funding secrecy. The ANC emerged as by far the biggest beneficiary of political funding in 2023 to 2024, pulling in more than 1.7 billion in total income. But the civil society watchdog My Vote Count MVC warns that most of the ruling party's private income remains a mystery. The ANC's funding, which dwarfed all other political parties, was split between public and private sources. Public funding 1.19 billion from the ISC, Parliament and provincial legislatures. Private funding 527 million, of which only 69 million was disclosed donations, and a staggering 413 million, 78%, was recorded as other income outside the Party Funding Act's ambit. The scale of this income means the ANC alone accounted for over 53% of all party funding in South Africa during the reporting year, which amounted to 3.23 billion. However, of the private funding, only 31.8% of this was disclosed. The rest fell into unregulated categories such as donations under the threshold membership fees or other income. We do not know where 78% of the ANC's private funding came from. The ANC made up 53% of party funding in 2023 to 2024, yet nearly 80% of its private funding sources are unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones, Winer TV. Please subscribe. Bye for now. Till we meet again next time. Subscribe.